Alrighty guys, welcome back to the video. This is a quick test to see if my new little system here is gonna work. Shooting it on the swing is not easy at 200 meters, swinging pretty rapidly. Guys, good morning, welcome back to the range. Now today I'm gonna be firing two rifles. I need to sort out two different problems. Number one, 28 Sherman Mag. Last time I had it here, it was shooting super hot, and I'm just trying to get away. There's a guy knocking some stuff over here. It was shooting super hot, so I've backed off powder-wise actually, about 3 grains. So I'm hoping to get to about 3,050 feet per second, shooting the 190 grain bullets. Level you out there. Hang on, stand by. So hoping to get to about 3,050 feet per second on that. Then my dasher, I've been having pressure issues with my dasher. Now I thought this was as a result of me not trimming to the correct length, and it technically was. But I thought it was, you know, the front of the case being too long for the chamber. However, what happened was I trimmed my brass too much, okay, creating a different problem. Okay, so the reason I trimmed it too much is because when you're working with 6 to 800 pieces at a time, it's a massive ball ache, okay? To trim, the muggies are out in full force this morning, and the tabot, or the bug spray, is doing absolutely nothing, and it are freaking me out. So I'm gonna make this quick. So essentially what I did was I trimmed it too much, hoping that I would buy myself, 5-6 firings before I would have to trim again. However, that created a carbon ring. Now, if you've had a carbon ring, you know it is a giant pain in the butthole to try and clean, but I think I found a solution to doing that effectively, so that's what we're going to be doing today. Then I'm going to be just retesting a load with the 109 grain Burger long range hybrid targets that I think should be working, that I was having pressure issues. Now the pressure issues was so bad that the base of the case expanded so much. Okay, the primer is obviously missing by the time that case eventually comes out the chamber, but the base actually expanded so much that it doesn't fit into my shell holder anymore to go into the press, so that is concerning. So I lost a whole bunch of brass. Luckily I'm changing back to brand new brass, so that problem should be a thing of the past, and I'm switching to the Alpha Munitions 6mm dasher brass pretty shortly. So if you haven't checked out Alpha Munitions, now unfortunately in South Africa they're not really an option for us because they're not available, but if you guys are watching from America and you haven't checked out Alpha brass, fantastic brass. I have shot it in the past. Unfortunately, I didn't have a dasher, and then I was shooting it in 6.5 crude, and I had fantastic results. So without further ado, and before the muggies chow me completely, let's do some shooting. So importantly today, I'm gonna remember to put these on, because last time I was here, I had ringing ears for quite a while. It was muzzle brakes, massive calibers underneath the steel roof, concrete floors. Not fun. Anyway, if you're liking this video and you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do so now. It costs nothing and it really does help out the channel a lot. Also, leave a comment down below. Thank you very much. Okay, first things first, let's get a gun. Okay, so we are going to start things off with the 28 Sherman Magnum purely because this thing burns a giant amount of powder every shot. So I want to give it the maximum amount of time to cool down. So I'm going to shoot about 2 strings with this. And let me just pop it on the Sky Pod. I'm going to shoot about 2 strings of this and then switch it out to the dasher, give that some time to cool down, and then shoot the remaining loads. It's always fun when you get to shoot some loads on a Monday morning. Standard deviation 4.5, average speed 3,019 feet per second. That's alright. The group is like 3 touching and then 2 slightly off to the side. I'm going to shoot 1 more group, then give it some time to cool down. Although let's just do that anyway. Right, so whenever I come to the range and do load development, you obviously want to write stuff down. Because the more info we have back at sort of HQ, the better we can do. So I'm going to write down here that we've got 3,019 feet per second with, acceptable accuracy. It's not great, but hopefully as we shoot the next couple of strings, that'll get better. Okay, so the first shots, I shot the wrong group. I shot a group up. So I'm going to finish shooting that group and just make an arrow that I have actually switched those two around. So this was a little bit non-focused. The speed is kind of where I want it, 3060. That's gonna do it. Very accurate little load. I think I pulled one of the shots, but there's four each in each other. I'm stoked. That is gonna be a keeper for us. So let's see how these others go. Standard deviation 11.5. That might explain why the one is out. But 3050 is round about where we want it to be. And I'm super, it's like half a MOA, which I'm stoked with. Okay, I've quickly popped over to the dasher just to give that guy some time to cool down. I'm shooting off sort of my match style bag here. Let's see if our pressure issues are resolved. I hope so. Difference in recoil. It's staggering. Okay, so the first round hit a little outside of the group, and then the second two literally went through the same hole. So I'm assuming it's after my mega scrub that the first round was a little bit out of its normal zero. That's 3, that's 4. This is old ammo that I'm shooting, that I actually wrote on this box that I need to pull these bullets because they were too hot. Because remember, if you're not up to speed, I lost access to my rifles for a long time, and I couldn't remember what ammo was which, and so I thought these were too hot, but they're not. They're shooting the 109 grains at 2,738 feet per second, so they're not too hot. So it is the carbon ring, 100% the issue. There was 0 pressure signs on those pieces of brass, no ejector mark, nothing. I'm stoked. In fact, some matches I was shooting where I had to, in order to get the case ejected, I had to pull my bolt out, actually hit the case out the bolt face because it had like flown into the, into the bolt. So that seems to be a thing of the past. Only 3 rounds left, but or 3 rounds down the pipe. But let's try shoot a group of 5 quickly and see what we're sort of working with. Then we can walk up to the front there and evaluate that. I'm going to do this reasonably quickly and for the sake of the video. Okay, let's go check it out. So first thing, 28 Sherman Mag. This was our first group. Then we actually shot the 74.3 group out of sequence, and I shot it here. But that was the very first round, and then 4 rounds through each other there, which is perfect. So our dasher, this round down there was our very first round after the excessive cleaning. Then 2 through each other, and then that was the little 5-round group I was shooting. Now I quite like it when the group is actually not on the aiming point, because here when you start blowing out your aiming point, it does make it harder to aim on that specific spot. So this is actually quite lekker to have that slightly offset, because as you guys know, it's not really about where the group sits when you're doing load development. You don't necessarily need to blow out the center. You want to see the size of the group, then it's always easy to just adjust your scope up and over. So this is kind of where we are. I'm going to shoot the remaining 3 groups now. Just I gotta remember to make a little switchy arrow there for myself, but I have written down the speeds, and this is the speed we were looking for. The average there was 3,053 feet per second, which is absolutely exactly what I was hoping to get with great accuracy. So I'm definitely gonna revalidate that. This one here was possibly the outball out the group, or it could have been me, but I mean, 4 happy days. So I've just had an interesting encounter with a small snake. Managed to get some cool video of him. Harmless little fella, at least I think so. Probably shouldn't tell my wife, because then she'll never come with me to this range. Now if you're wondering if it's difficult for me to switch between these 2 rifles, it's actually not. The ergonomics are very much the same. I probably will need to fit higher rings on that 6 dasher there next to you guys. because I'm having to force my head down a little bit. But I shot another group with ammo that I loaded yesterday. Happy days. Okay, so let's shoot that low group first. Magneto's on, it's cleared, everything. Okay, let's gooi. I'm finding with this rifle I'm needing to shoulder it a little bit more. Okay, so they're all within a sticker, so it's under an MOA. Now you'll notice I'm not shooting out of my magazine because on this ESS chassis I'm actually unable to load these bullets that are longer than the magazine. So that's not going to work lekker. So I am single feeding, which is not a problem because this format of competition we're shooting, we're pretty much all single feeding. It's only 4 rounds per stage. I'm still happy with that accuracy. So if that's that side, so it shows the first group's a little bit larger, getting smaller than smaller. So it'll be interesting to see what the 74.6 does for us downrange. Wasn't comfortable there for whatever reason, so I decided not to take those shots. Yeah, I don't know, I just wasn't feeling it. Best to reset. I'm gonna take this one, put it aside, shoot it last because it will cook up in the chamber, and note to self, I should get comfortable and in my position that I want to be before I close that bolt. Gents, I'm very happy with how this rifle's shooting again. Average, even though this is a higher charge weight by 0.3 grains, the speed's actually a little bit slower. So this is 3,042 average standard deviation of 9.3. And again, we've got one sort of round slightly out the group, but then essentially like 0.3, 0.4 MOA. So I'm stoked. So that basically means that we've got 3 groups, 3 charge weights in a row, that we're having a very consistent speed as well as a good grouping. So if I pick kind of the middle one, we are set and off to the races, because if you're under a grain or over 0.1 of a grain, excuse me, you're going to buy yourself a little bit of margin there, and the same thing's going to go for a hot day or a cold day. So that's very cool. Something that you might also take note of is, even though I'm loading these individually, I'm not breaking my position every time. So I'm not shooting around, I'm not going click and then getting up and getting a new round and then rebuilding my position. I'm trying to stay on the rifle. Okay, so I'm trying to stay in my position and then do everything with this hand. I'm going to work my grip, everything remains the same, my cheek weld remains the same, because that's just going to give me that consistency. You know, now you put your face down on a different part of the gun. I'm trying to keep the same amount of shoulder pressure and everything in my rifle. Not a lot, just enough. You'll see there's like a little bit of slack there on the bipod, so I'm just pushing into it a little bit to eliminate sort of that little bit there. But I am absolutely stoked with how these 190s are shooting. The speed's exactly what I wanted, the accuracy is what I wanted. Freaking pumped, baby. Now I obviously want to take you guys along to the matches with me, and something that I wanted to see is there a way I could put you on my rifle without it having to be in my way? And I came up with a design that I 3D printed that actually interfaces with my rifle. Have a look at this. So let me take you guys off there. Now, this is my mount with the new GoPro 11. Thank you to the people of Impact. I always take the funds that the guys that support the channel on Patreon, and I use that to improve our production or give you new abilities. So this actually clips in with an American Defense mount. And then this mounts on my rifle just like that, and I'm able to engage targets. Let's shoot this. Actually, I need a bullet. Let's shoot that. And I want to see what the sort of recoil looks like for you guys, more importantly. with the GoPro stabilization and stuff like that. And I think this will even be really cool in a hunting environment where, you know, things happen very quickly. Okay, so I don't know what that's going to look like, but we're going to find out. And then what better way to possibly test this than on a big Magnum cartridge. So perhaps this could even be a thing for the long range matches. So that is why we come out and test stuff and try and multitask when we are here. So the magneto's running, everything's running, almost shot at the steel there. Again, our speed is very much looking same hole. Man, it's good when a rifle shoots like this. I think we have a winner, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so the last shot, a little bit out the group, but I mean another banger group. Wow, this rifle's shooting great, and the speed is 3059, 3059, SD 7.4. Okay, let's go check it out. I hope this worked. Alright, so we came to the range with two problems, and it looks like we've solved both of them. The 28 Sherman Magnum is shooting great. We have here 4 rounds through the same hole on the very last group, well, kind of the same hole, right in the center of the target, which I'm stoked about. And then the 5th round, like randomly, out the group, like significantly out the group. So that's obviously me, just being a chop. So, but I mean that one, and that one, which is technically this one, yeah, is good to go. Oftentimes guys spend so much time and energy and barrel life chasing the perfect load when, you know, half a MOA will get it done most of the days, because we're missing, not because the accuracy of our rifle, we're missing because we're misreading the conditions, the wind's changing on us, and all the other factors that go with long range shooting. So the 28 Sherman Mag is absolutely hammering. Then the Dasher, this is the first group. We obviously shot brand clean rifle, first shot, 2 shots through there. We've spoken about this group. Then I also shot this little group while I was running just the camera to get some footage of me shooting the Dasher, and then this was the last group that we shot with the GoPro on. So I'm gonna freaking call that good to go too. Guys, it's obviously a hack bringing the camera along to the range. You know, you want to do stuff quickly, but I also want to film stuff for you guys, so it is a bit more of a mission, and oftentimes I need to come here and be highly efficient, which is hard to do with the cameras. I also want to thank Modular Driven Technologies, MDT, for sponsoring today's video. I was shooting 2 of their chassis systems, the ACC Elite, which is not available yet, and I was shooting steel at 200 meters and actually seeing my bullets hitting the steel. That's how well I was able to manage the recoil on that, so that's very cool. And then obviously the 28 Sherman Magnum was in an MDT ESS chassis, which happens to be the first chassis that I ever got from MDT. Not that exact one, but I got an ESS, which is an awesome chassis. So guys, thank you very much for watching again. I really appreciate it. As always, share these videos with your mates. Let's get the channel absolutely pumping. Leave me a comment down below. And if you're shooting this weekend, shoot well, shoot straight, read the wind well, and most of all, have a good time doing it. Okay, gents and ladies, and wives in the background making supper. I don't know when you guys choose to watch these videos, but I thank you very much. Bye.